the organization was designed to make it possible for people in our industry, from very, very famous people to those working behind the scenes, specifically in the area of live performance and in recordings, who are open about their adversity. So whatever that is. So basically on the founder's side, I'm sober from drugs and alcohol addiction. I just celebrated 31 years.
Awesome.
Jack's a type 2 diabetic. So that's where both of us kind of were working together in the industry, and then having this common connection of we both have these things that are going on in our lives. And what we found was that the power of we, that a lot of the skills that I use to deal with staying away from active addictions, the isms in my life, Jack is also able to apply a lot of the same principles in dealing with a chronic illness like diabetes, and also gave me a lot of appreciation, because as far as I'm concerned, I'll take the hand that was dealt me versus what he has to deal with on a daily basis just to make it to the office to oversee this operation. So that's how the organization was built, was to allow that voice from our industry of people, whatever issue they've been through, to be able to give back and work with at-risk youth, utilizing their personal life lessons and learned, and adversities they've overcome, and the solutions that they live in, matched with the God-given talents that they have in the areas of creativity. And to your point about, interesting enough, so even in the wake of an opiate crisis in our country, COVID really, people usually would say to us, "Oh, you must have had a lot of kids dealing with drugs and alcohol." Actually, I think at the tip of the iceberg was anxiety and depression. And we work with the gamut of humanity, from youth that are living in rural poverty, a lot of poverty, to all the way to inner city urban gang violence, and everything in between. So that depression, anxiety, obviously is a launch pad for using stuff to try to deal with that. But in terms of like out and out, seeking drugs at the forefront, interesting enough, like that wasn't the primary that we found with a lot of the youth. It comes part and parcel,
Right.
But interesting enough, like I think that the overwhelming the fact that our entire society stopped because of COVID really created this place where anxiety, depression, those things really were at the forefront, which was so apparent that it wasn't too difficult for young people to just sort of identify what the heck is going on, specifically because they were dealing in they were in a box, they were in isolation. And that's where the glass is half full, the lemons turned into lemonade for us, because what we were able to do, which is obviously the work we do is driven by in-person and hands-on. But because of the support of technology, which went from Cisco WebEx to now Zoom, and because of a lot of the staff that we have with Road Recovery, also we have a whole bunch of engineers, technically savvy music industry people, both musician side of it, but also just straight ahead engineers, recording studio engineers, live sound engineers. We're able to get inside the mechanics of these platforms and tweak them so that they could actually work better for us when translating creative content and working with youth, whether it's through instrumentation or sending beats back and forth or whatever, but using this of really tweaking the technology to make it more useful for us. Which again, we went from kids being in their homes, which was a whole other ball of something adventure that came about, because a lot of kids at first wouldn't put on their cameras. A lot of that was trust, because it's, this is sort of this artificial kind of reality we're working in. But what we also discovered out of it was some of these kids were living in such poverty, or they wouldn't turn their microphones on, and we discovered there were kids living in abusive households.
Yep.
Which then, by building these relationships with them, this stuff started to come out, which then, because we don't work on an island, so all of the organization always attaches itself to resources, whether it's wherever we're partnering our programs, so that we are very much stay in our lane. We are not a treatment program. We're an adjunct where we work in tandem, in collaboration and partnership with those who are resources that can help young people. So we stay in our lane. We don't say we're not a pig, yet we smell like a pig and look like a pig and everything. So, we all stay in our lane. For me, there's only one drug addict and alcoholic in the world, and that's me. And, and your business is your business. If I can help you, great.
Right.
But, I'm not here to diagnose you. I'm not here to treat you. I'm here to work from my position of I, and the same with Jack and everyone else. So, so that's where we built this model 25 years ago with the understanding that the sort of the philosophy of serve them the meat and slip them the vegetables. So the meat is the attraction to access for these young people to the entertainment industry, to work with people who make their profession is. And then in that, we're not an arts program. We're not teaching kumbaya. We're here to teach communication skills, coping skills, and life skills. That's really what's in the stew, in the work that we do with the young people. So in the case of the issues that have come up, or issues that come up, whether they're just a bad day or some very severe issues, we have resources at our disposal immediately to work with the young people to find solutions to whatever they're dealing with, whether they don't have any food, they need clothing, to social services, to interventions toward medical treatment of any kind, or educational treatment.
This is the Knocking Doors Down podcast, featuring celebrities, experts, and everyday people who have overcome adversities, including addiction, mental health, and trauma, to live purposeful lives. And that's what Knocking Doors Down is all about.